Hello, and welcome to the World Fish Farming News for the end of last week, 23rd, 26th of August, 2024. Market prices. Pressure on small fish, but the big one maintains its price. The fish market is experiencing minor fluctuations with significant pressure on smaller fish sizes, 1 to 4 kilograms, whose prices are slightly declining, while prices for larger fish, 4+ kilogram, remain stable. Current purchase prices for the upcoming week range from 48 to 80 NO per kilogram, depending on the fish size. The market remains relatively stable overall, although there's a slight decrease in the smaller sizes due to an abundance of fish and full packing facilities. Prices have been dropping for 4 consecutive weeks, especially for 1 to 3 kilograms fish, which is expected to continue. Despite current low price levels being seen as temporary, future prices are projected to rise again by September and October, as indicated by Fish Pool's forward pricing. The Senja company Norsk Seafood had a turnover of $500 million. Despite not having fish in their pens at the year's end, the aquaculture company in Botnum on Senja reported a turnover of NO 487.2 million last year, with an operating profit of NO 127.6 million, resulting in a 26.2% operating margin. After accounting for tax expenses, which amounted to 96.3 million, including 67.6 million for resource rent tax, the company was left with a profit of 29.2 million. At the beginning of the year, they had fish in the sea valued at 159.3 million, but by December 31st there were none. The company holds licenses for a maximum allowed biomass MTB of 3,776, valued at 39.8 million. With equity of 219.3 million and total capital of 378.5 million, the equity ratio was 57.9%. Owned by SalMar and Wilsgård Fiskeoppdrett with 82.5% and 17% respectively, the company, chaired by Gustav Witzøe, was reported to be part of SalMar's group accounts. Smir Group enters halibut farming. The Smir Group is intensifying its investment in the delivery of water feeding systems and is now targeting halibut farming. The company has entered an agreement with Sterling White Halibut to provide such systems, overcoming initial skepticism about water feeding methods for halibut. Detailed tests convinced Sterling White Halibut's technical leader Thor Bull Skarvatun of the system's reliability, noting no blockages or feed quality issues. While halibut feed requires gentler handling due to its larger size, the Smir Group has been developing a flexible system fit for various feed types, including halibut. Sterling White Halibut, which has extensive expansion plans and a focus on environmental sustainability, values the cost-effective and energy-efficient nature of the Smir Group's water feeding systems, alongside their potential to reduce noise levels. The STIM board believes they are on the right track. We have very skilled teams now. STIM, a fish health provider, has announced a dividend of 28 million from last year's profits. The company, headquartered in Leknes, Lofoten, reported a revenue increase of 33.3% from 2022, hitting 1.6 billion in 2023. This growth is attributed to strong performance in Chile and the inclusion of subsidiaries in Chile, North America, and Scotland for the first time. The company credits its success to effective teams, innovative products, and services that meet the needs of fish farmers. STIM aims to continuously improve fish health and productivity through innovation. As of the end of the year, STIM had 67 employees and plans to keep expanding with the support of Swedish investment fund Summa Equity, which acquired a 75% stake in March. There are always some hiccups when you start, but for the most part, it has gone well. Anus Incubator, a smolt producer, reported a profitable first year of operations, achieving a turnover of 85.4 million and an operating profit of 29 million, resulting in a 34% operating margin. Despite significant loans and net financial costs of 23.2 million, the pre-tax profit was 5.8 million. The company, owned by Ida Fjordbruk, Lingalax, and Tomber Fiskeanlegg, employed 18 full-time equivalents last year and recently announced the departure of CEO Jan Gunnar Strand. At the year's end, Anus Incubator had an equity of 220.8 million, a total capital of 169.5 million, and a 25.4% equity ratio, with Sparebank 1 SR Bank holding a lien on the facility for 500 million. Hofseth BioCare hopes for a positive EBITDA by the end of the year. Hofseth BioCare HBC achieved gross operating revenues of 80.4 million in Q2, with adjusted revenues of 72.2 million, reflecting a 42% increase compared to the same quarter in 2023. Despite a negative operating result of 11.6 million, the company's cash reserves and credit facilities provided 26.7 million in free liquidity by the end of June. CEO Jan Olav Udegård highlighted significant sales growth, aiming for a 50% sales increase, higher capacity utilization, and positive EBITDA by year-end. Production volumes rose 9% from Q1 to Q2 and 31% year-over-year. HBC also recorded an 8.2 million gain from asset and patent sales to HBC Immunology, with a 72% stake in the latter. Nordnorsk Stamfisk felt the weak Norwegian krone. Nordnorsk Stamfisk, a broodstock producer based in Linus, Steigen, experienced a decline in revenue and operating results in the past year. The company recorded a turnover of 220.9 million, which is 15 million less than the previous year, and an operating profit of 49.6 million, marking a 23% decrease. Despite these challenges, Christian Woldvik, who became the new CEO in March, indicated that operations have remained stable amid fluctuating exchange rates and high prices. With no direct employees, the company relies on resources leased from its owners, Aquagen, Nordlax, and Nova Sea. The company's production occurs at sea sites in Sandoya and Krokosen near its land facility in Linus. Financially, the company maintained a solid position with 44.9 million in equity and proposed a 40 million dividend, the same as the previous year. Proximar is preparing to slaughter its first Japanese salmon in about a month. Proximar Seafood is poised to become the first producer of Atlantic salmon in Japan, significantly ahead of its competitors. CEO Joachim Nielsen announced the company's readiness to begin harvesting in about a month, following their first commercial sales agreement. The land-based farm, located near Mount Fuji, reported a biomass of 530 tons in mid-August, with plans to slaughter 350 tons in 2024 and increase production to 4,350 tons by 2025. Although Proximar has yet to generate revenue, the company remains optimistic, citing strong interest from high-end buyers for their fresh, locally produced Atlantic salmon. The completion of their growth facility's final modules will require an additional 30 million to be financed through convertible bonds.